I really want to. Jordan Peele's films have all had some sort of racial commentary, and it's clear that this does as well to me. I have not thoroughly researched any of these conversations online. I don't know how many people it wasn't like on my Twitter feed, and I didn't look it up. But I would love to, I guess, dive into or try to dissect exactly what he's going for here, because here's some of the things that really stuck out to me when I was watching the film. Is the creature, the way it looks, the way it like kind of opens its mouth or whatever we're going to call it, looks exactly like an old film camera, like lens looking at you, like the square.
Yeah.
Obviously, the characters are the first black horse people that had horses for movies. I forget the official title of them, but that was heavily emphasized. When Steven Yeun talks about the aliens before he's doing the show, he uses a very particular word. He doesn't say the watchers. He says the viewers. I call them the viewers. Like that's a very particular thing to say. That is very clearly when you're calling the aliens the viewers, like there's some commentary being made on media here. And I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like, is it just like it's sucking up people, like everybody it's sucked up is not black, or like what media wants, or there's like disparity in terms of how people are represented in media. Like, I don't have a clear answer of what it's going for. Maybe I have to watch it a second time, but there's something clearly there, right? I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, yeah, sure. That's what's so cool about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because the opening credits were from the perspective of inside the ship looking out as well.
Yeah,
so it's like
and you don't know that yet. Like when you see it the first time, you're like, "What is that?"
Yeah, you have no idea what it means. But it's also a film about exploitation as well, and like spectacle. There's the whole kind of B plot with the chimp from the old kind of 80s sitcom, and all of that just feeds into the exploitation and just this obsession humans have with like this kind of media, this kind of wanting to document everything and use like animals or whatever to achieve what like just kind of mindless entertainment.
True.
And that's kind of the horror of that chimp scene.
And I guess with them being like, horse wranglers and stuff, that kind of fits into that too.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the point of like Steven Yeun's like character. He kind of misinterprets the whole like chimp experience as an exploited like child actor, and he thinks he has this connection with this chimp, and that he, as a result, as an adult, thinks he can kind of control the alien in a similar way he could like bond with the chimp. And it's like all about the relationship of the like trying to control like predators or nature or whatever you want to describe it, whereas the lead character, he has like a different relationship with animals. Like he respects them in a different way, and he knows they can't really be controlled in the same way, and you got to treat them differently and understand what they are.
Yeah.
You see that in the beginning scene, like when they're filming, like Daniel Kaluuya's there with the horse on set. They're all white on set, and like they're trying to control the animal. It doesn't respond well.
Yeah,
they're not respecting it,
and he's telling them like, don't go behind it, like, try to respect.
Yeah, well, that scene is great. They like set up so much, like in that scene, that you don't even realize. Like they set up the cinematographer, who I didn't realize would come back in the film later.
Yeah. They made sure to like emphasize him.
I guess if you saw the trailer, it's like one shot. They set up the reflection thing.
Yeah, the reflection. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, like if you look at the animal or if you look at the UFO, it like agitates it.
Yeah.
I like the UFO doesn't really have like a purpose to it. Like it's not explicitly explained. It's kind of like going on instinct. It's going like,
It's just an animal, just a territorial creature. It's decided it wants to live there, and it's just going to eat whatever comes near it.
Right.
Which is horrifying.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out and see, I want to get your thoughts on the connection between the B-plot chimpanzee show and the actual alien UFO whatever events, because there are ways in which it's kind of implied that there's some sort of connection there. There was that like weird shoe that was standing
You're
upright.
Talking about a shoe,
yeah, like that was
Miracle.
Something that it focused on and was like, okay, well, wait, is there some sort of supernatural thing happening at this moment that's causing the chimpanzee to be agitated, or like what's happening there?
Maybe.
And then there was also a clip that Jordan Peele posted on Twitter, which maybe was a deleted scene or extra footage or something, but essentially it was a fake intro opening theme song for that fake TV show. And at the end of the credits for the fake TV show, it had the little boy and the chimp giving each other a fist bump. But what they were doing is they were looking into a telescope, like up at the stars sort of thing. So for it to end in that way, like maybe it's just like, kind of being cheeky, like tying it into his like space movie sort of thing. But I'm wondering what you think about like what the connection is between, or like what the implied connection is between the show and the alien events. Like what is he saying? Do you have any ideas? Or I'm going to watch it again. I guess. Well,
yeah, I think it was about kind of like what I was sort of getting at with the like trying to control animals or the misinterpret. What do they call it? A bad miracle.
Yeah,
there's like a line at some point in the movie, kind of feeding into Steven Yeun's character as a kid, maybe misinterpreting these ideas and assigning too much value, and because he does take kind of the totally like wrong, like sickest, most kind of greedy like takeaway from the experience and turns it into this like amusement park basically, and it's all about just the exploitation of it and the crossover of a chimp kind of being abused for entertainment, and then like all these characters chasing this this thing that does turn out to also be like a kind of dangerous predator that needs to be respected.
Yeah.
That's the kind of crossover I see.
There's a couple things I was a bit confused by in the movie. Like, I don't remember if it's because I went to the bathroom at the wrong time or what happened, but I was hoping you could help fill me in. So in the context of the show that Steven Yeun is doing, was the implication that like he was successfully able to like show a crowd alien things at any point, or was it like he was doing a fake thing and then they really showed up?
I don't know if that's really clear.
I was also a bit confused on that as well. He was kind of making out that he was saying that every Friday it showed up and maybe you could see it fly in the distance or something.
Something like that.
It was definitely like that was the first time it had like abducted a large group of people in that kind of way.
Or like came that close, I guess, even.
Yeah. Because he has a line about how like this hasn't happened before or something like this. But you'd also imagine that there'd be a much bigger crowd if he'd been doing this and showing it off for weeks and weeks, whereas the crowd's kind of pointed out to be pretty slim pickings, so maybe it was more vague.
Yeah. And then what exactly was the cloud also? What did that turn out to be? I think I missed that part.
I think that is the show.
The cloud was kind of like a camouflage.
Just for the alien? So like the cloud was itself. Just the alien hanging out there in one spot?
Or whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it, like in the deep ocean or whatever, like an octopus can like camouflage into whatever. I saw it as like a natural kind of phenomenon like that.
Right. Okay. Really unique design of that ship. Like I like
it looks cool.
Like kind of a cloth it's made of. Yeah. That was really interesting.
I like the colors too.
Yeah, I looked up who designed it, and it was this aeronautics engineer who reverse engineers jellyfish, and you can like that when I read that made it make a lot of sense to me, because I was seeing all these like kind of deep ocean like natural like patterns in the way like it's like a big reveal the way it unfolds towards the end and kind of starts gliding around, and it's like
it's very mesmerizing.
It's no longer that
it is like something you see like a sea creature that's like really hidden deep in the ocean. It is like
exactly.
It's something like that. Like it feels kind of real. One of the more things I was confused about was like toward the end with the cinematographer. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, why did he like suck him like intentionally?
I think it was to get the shot
in the ship. Yeah, it was partly that, right? He says like it's what's the term for it? It's like sunset hour, like
golden hour
lighting.
Golden hour. Yeah,
it's like the perfect lighting for that. So he's like, I gotta get the shot right. So it's like, but it's also kind of like he went crazy, like he just snapped and like
but as he walks away, he's saying like we don't deserve this or something along those lines. So I wasn't sure if because I thought like is his plan to get the shot while going up, and then when it spits out,
like hopefully someone gets the footage,
maybe they're able to salvage it.
Yeah, but that didn't work out for him. That's why I was like, oh, because it just spits it out, right? And then the footage is all destroyed. Like, definitely that footage got destroyed.
He was a kook. He was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like he just lost it.
Yeah.
I guess he was sick of, like, editing all that old footage of, like, you know, octopuses on, like, sea creatures, like, or whatever. There's something like that going on there.
God.
I think it's supposed to be kind of vague. There's, like, so many vague elements of it. And, like, but there's a lot of, like, dialogue in this movie that's, like, exposition, but you don't really, like, pick up on it. But there's, like, so much
nice
going on in the dialogue that's, like, explaining, things, and, like, oh, you don't even notice it necessarily.
Yeah, especially because the two leads have such great chemistry. They really sell
they're
it.
Great.
And they've got a great dynamic, because with Daniel Kaluuya, he's like really underplayed, and compared to his sister, who's really vibrant, and she's got all these like eccentric costumes and outfits. I mean,
he doesn't have a lot of dialogue, which is great. And he's like very understated. And Keke Palmer's very like animated.
Yeah. Great opening scene as well. I loved the whole. What is it, like the Penny killing his dad, and how like tragic and strange and mysterious is.
Speaking of The Thing,
true.
He was good. Very briefly in it.
Yeah, I was like, what? You're in this movie?
I didn't expect him to die that quick, and it was brutal. Like blood shooting out of his eye in the car.
Yeah, when he's in the car.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like so much. There's so much going on in it. It's so dense. Every frame is so much going on. George Lucas. Except good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and then I wonder if there's like significance to it, like killing him through his eye, when we're talking about like viewer, and like that's kind of from a viewfinder sort of thing, like watching. Like, there's more to chew on here, you know.
Or if that was just like random.
Yeah.
Or if like maybe Keith David looked up at the sky.
One of the posters is just like a horse's eye and the reflection of like through that, you know.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know if you've seen the poster with like Stephen Yeun like looking up, with, like, but his hat. If you look at it, it basically just looks like the UFO in the movie.
Oh yeah,
only on the poster. Yeah, it just looks like the UFO is floating above his head. Hey, maybe I could pull it up here and just send it.
Yeah, I do really like those posters of all the characters looking up. It's all immediately intriguing.
I love, there's a lot of really, really cool visuals in this. And that one scene particularly with, you know, the interior of people getting like digested and shit. I was like, whoa, that's pretty scary. Like, that's pretty terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're fucked. You're absolutely.
That's
like,
genuinely horrifying. Claustrophobic and really good sound design.
Like, no hope.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
And as it's kind of like gliding around, and you can hear the like screams, like an amusement park, like coming from the hole. It's like, really fucked up.
That would be like, honestly, that's, no matter how I die, I don't want there to be a bunch of like screaming people around me. That's just so uncomfortable. You know?
Yeah.
I don't like screaming people. It's very disturbing.
Yeah, and I guess
it's really dark. There's like it's like an audience of like children. There's like the girl from the flashback who had her face ripped off.
Oh,
a bunch of random families there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's scarier to me than anything in his previous movies. Like that's some existential, like horrifying, like being eaten by a bear, like type of fear.
Yeah, it has like an esophagus, like.
Eaten by a large gay man.
Oh, fuck.